I would imagine that 10 weeks ago, when this first came about, you could never have envisaged it becoming the extraordinary event that it has become.
No. It's been quite overwhelming to see. Oh, sorry. It has been really overwhelming to see in ways how it has been brought up in this country, in the nation, yeah.
And it's been embraced by everybody, but you feel that 10 weeks now is the right time to draw it to a conclusion. Why is that?
Well, first of all, for everybody who wants to continue, I think they should. But for me personally, to stop giving it, to give it my support after 10 weeks is because I think it still has a positive impact. And to maintain that, it's good to maybe for me to see how can we have that positive energy lifted to the next level, which could be an annual moment, and also to embrace the community still at 8 p.m. And how to give any form or shape up to that.
Let me just ask you, Linda, of course, you and your partner were caught up in this quite badly, really. You both were very, very poorly with it. First of all, how are you? We know that sometimes the recovery can be very slow. But secondly, what has clapping for carers on a Thursday meant for you?
Well, I'm really very much on the mend now. I feel like I'm almost back to normal. But I think it's really important to go out and clap. And, we shouldn't forget those frontline workers are still going into the eye of the storm every single week. And I think it's important that, as you know, the neighbourhood remember that they're out there doing that nothing's changed for them. You know, they're still going and they're still missing their leave. They're still not having their holidays. And I think it's a small price to pay to go out and clap, to remember what they're doing. I mean, the first clap, I was actually in hospital in bed, fighting for my life. And each Thursday it brings a tear to my eye to remember the staff and the nurses and, that brought me back to life, really.
And Mark, Dr. Mark Porter is with us all week. Somebody on Twitter, lots and lots of response to this. Claire on Twitter says, yes, the NHS keep asking for us to stop, especially when there's people clapping one week, then heading to the beach the next weekend. There is a little bit of that going on, isn't there, do you think, that from the NHS's point of view, that you think it's all very well coming out and waving to your neighbours and clapping, but 10 weeks on, the lockdown isn't over, but people are behaving as though it is?
Yeah, I think, people are grateful, so whether they're behaving as they should do or not, they still want to express their gratitude. And I'm fine with the expression of the gratitude. I wish they'd behave themselves as well. I think my big concern, and the concern of many of the people I work with in the front line, and not just doctors and nurses and physios and midwives, but everybody, is that it's been fantastic to have been thanked. It really moved us at the beginning. It still moves me now. But I think I don't want fatigue to set in. It's good to be remembered. I want people to hold that thought. And I don't want people to feel that they have to clap. We've got the message. And we'd like to clap you because you're doing an amazing job too. So I think it's time. I'd like to make tonight the last one, but I'm with Anne-Marie. But I don't want it to be politicised either. I think it's been beautiful, but I think it's served its purpose.
Anne-Marie, Linda makes a really good point, doesn't she? Because, of course, she has first-hand experience of just how debilitating this virus is. She desperately was desperately ill and has come back, and she looks fabulous, and as she says, is getting back to her old self. And you don't want to take away that opportunity for Linda and other people within the community who no longer see this as just a clap for carers, but a clap for their community that have come together as well.
Yeah, no, sure. And for me, I will next week also go out to just see who is out there and just to check in with my community. And what Linda has addressed, we are still in this crisis, but I think there are probably another initiatives that we can support in which we can show our gratitude and then have the other goal that we've achieved in here of bringing the communities together. That can still be something that we do on our doorstep on a Thursday night, 8 p.m.
I think, Linda, lots of people have been getting in touch, and often the response is similar to what Chris has tweeted me in, saying, my wife is a hospital nurse. She wants it to end because she and her colleagues are starting to feel a little bit betrayed by the public. One minute they're clapping for their heroes, the next minute mixing together in parks and beaches, ignoring lockdown. It's the question that Ranveer put. There is this conflict now, isn't there, as we're sort of coming out of lockdown. The weather is really, really beautiful. It's very convenient for people to stand there on a Thursday and celebrate the incredible work that our carers are doing. But then as soon as they've gone back inside, forget the fact that actually we need to respect the rules. And if there's hospital workers that are starting to feel a little bit let down, we don't want to create any friction there, do we?
No, we don't. But, you know, if you have got that clap on a Thursday, like you say, it is a reminder to those people that are going out to the beaches and things. But if we lose that completely, people are just going to go back to living normally and think that this virus has gone away, which it hasn't. And, you know, we're not out of the woods at all yet. And I don't understand why people are putting their families at risk by going to crowded beaches and sitting very close to each other. You know, I think until it's touched you or a member of your family, you don't realise how awful this disease is. There's people dying every day still. And I just think with that clap on a Thursday, for those people that are going out to beaches and things, at least it's there to remind them once a week that, you know, the healthcare workers are still putting themselves at risk every single day.
And it's worth bringing up at this point that this morning the Financial Times have been looking at the analysis of excess death rates from 19 different countries around the world, all who record deaths the same way that we do, with the same time lag and everything. That the analysis is very, very grim, I'm afraid, for the UK, that we have suffered the highest rate of deaths from the coronavirus pandemic. Ahead of the US, ahead of Italy, ahead of Spain, ahead of Belgium, 59,500 more deaths than usual since March, and directly or indirectly killing 891 people per million, which is more than any of those other major countries around the world. Those are the things that we've got to remember, haven't we? And we did this morning a lovely tribute to just 5 workers who worked in the NHS in the care system, about their sacrifice. They died on the front line. There is a bit, isn't there, Mark, that if we stop doing the clap for carers on the Thursday, as Linda says, what do we do then? How do we put it all into sort of, if you could bottle it and, you know, remember this moment and remember what we feel and not just start, you know, behaving as normal as though things have relaxed. What do we do next?
Well, that's the problem. I would love to be able to bottle it, but with all of these things, if you carry them on for too long, fatigue often does set in, and I think it's been a beautiful thing, and I would like to retain that memory, but we will move on to other things. I think it's really brought care workers of all types to the fore, and people realise what they do and the conditions that some of them have to work in and the poor pay that some of them have, all of those sorts of things. And I'd just like people to take that memory forward. But if you do find someone who's bottled it, please let me know. I'd like to spray it once a week without everybody knowing.